I can give you $1,000,000,000 and you'd have a different set of problems. And I guarantee if you spent it on nothing but safety and comfort and sensation, within about a year, you'd go so nuts, you'd be so numb that you would start importing danger and discomfort right back into your garden just to feel alive. That's what happens. Yeah, you cannot surround yourself with all that safety and comfort. You need struggle. You need it. You need uncertainty. You can't just have, that's why I think we read the Garden of Eden. I think we read it the wrong way. I don't think it was paradise. I don't. I think it was a form of hell. I really do. Because think about, you want to be in a garden where nothing can kill you, where nothing can hurt you? That's another way of saying nothing happens. No adventure. You need to not know what's going on. If for anything to be fun, you gotta have a time limit, first of all. You gotta have a time, even if you were coming all the time, like, right? You'd be like, when does it end? You know, it'd become agony. There's gotta be an end point, and you gotta have at least a possibility you might die. You have to have that. You have to have danger. The only reason it's fun to ride a motorcycle a little too fast is you might fall off and lose all the skin on one side of your body. Right? You have to have that. That's why it's more fun to pet a tiger instead of a cow. A cow's like, oh, boring. But like a tiger's like, ah! He almost killed me, you know? Yeah, man. I don't think Eve bit that apple because I think she was just bored. I do. I think, we call it a sin. I think she'd call it an escape. I think all of us eventually would have bit that apple. You want to wake up in a garden, an eternal garden where nothing can hurt you, nothing can kill you, next to a naked virgin? He seemed fine. He was like, what do you want to do? Climb another tree? Cuddle a vegan tiger? Take a nap? Like, she was like, get me the fuck out of here. Right? That's what happens, man. That's what people do in real life. You make enough money, man. You make enough money and you spend it on the wrong shit, I promise you, you will wake up one day and say something insane like, I want to see the Titanic. Yeah. But that shouldn't be surprising to us as human beings. That shouldn't be. Because, you can get to a point where the only way you feel alive and connected is to get into a tiny submarine, to cram into a tiny submarine and go 2.5 miles under the surface of the ocean to the coldest, darkest, wettest place on the planet to see that much of a boat. Shine the light over here. Look, the hull. Woo! But that makes you feel more alive than being on a yacht in Tahiti for the 25th time. I don't want to do like fucking sunshine, jet ski, dancing. I want to go down. Isn't that weird? Elon Musk, he's worth $400 billion. You know what he thinks about all day, as far as I can tell? Mars. Bezos is the same thing. That's literally like you can make enough money where you wake up and you're like bored of Earth. That's what he wakes up and he's like, I've done it. Right? Every day he walks into SpaceX and he's like, how much longer? So, I'm not going to make $1 billion. That's off my vision board. Yeah. Oh, that apple came out of the garden. I always think that's significant. That apple and that snake. I always think about the symbolic significance. The apple's always there, no matter how old you get. There's always that temptation. There's always what you want to do versus what you should do. And you just, your whole life is you got to resist. And it's just like, you just want to take a couple nibbles, right? It's like, no, maybe smell your breath, something, but you can't do it. You can't, man. It's just, it never works out. This is a good cheat sheet. Okay, I'm older. So, because a lot of times when you're younger, you eat a lot of apples, and you have to eat a lot of apples to realize apples are not good, right? I used to look for the whole orchard, and I'd be like, but here's a good way to look at it, okay? If something feels really good right away for no reason, get away from that, okay? Yeah, that's an apple. If anybody on social media is telling you you can get what you want in 3 easy steps, get away from that snake, okay? He's offering you an apple. That's not how the universe works. Anybody who's like, all you got to do, if you want to be rich like me, I'm a winner at capitalism. If you want to drive a Lambo like this and fly private so you don't have to breathe the poor's air, just do these 3 things, never these 6 things, and click the link. You know? Now, here's my self-help seminar. It's 2 lines. It'll just be very quick. This is all you got to know about life. Ready? If it's easy, it ain't real. If it tastes good, spit it out. The end. That's it. It's hard, though. It's hard. It's hard, though, because sometimes people can be apples, and they're delicious. And you know they're bad for you. You know they are. I used to be that way. I'd find the apple in the group, and I know they're going to screw my life up. And my friends were like, dude, don't do it. That girl comes from a great family. And I was like, boring. You know what I mean? I want to have sex with the apple with a bat tattoo to her neck, you know? And my friends would see it. They'd see things I wouldn't. They're like, dude, she's got track marks. And I was like, or she's a seamstress. Like, you don't know. I know. Women have it too. Women love that bad boy. A lot of women, they have to go through their bad boy phase. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. That guy Luigi Mangione, that kid, dude, he's got more fan mail. These girls are like, I want to marry you. It's like, yeah, I know. Toxic men. They're hot. They're hot. That's the problem. And I love when women say, I didn't know he was toxic. I didn't know until it was too late. I didn't know he was a narcissist. Turned out he was a hidden narcissist. Turns out he was manipulative. I was being gaslit, and I was the last to know. Bullshit. Bullshit. You knew everything about that guy in the first 10 minutes. The rest is denial, okay? That's what it is. People get divorced after 20 years over what they knew about the person in the first 20 minutes, all right? That's a fact. We just suffer from wishful thinking, okay? And don't flatter yourself. It's not, you love a toxic man, not because you're trying to change him. Here's why you love a toxic man. Because he brings out your toxins. Yeah. His manipulation brings out your manipulation. His narcissism brings out your narcissism. And let's be honest, those are wonderful demons to purge, right? And express like, fuck you, fuck me, you know? God, it's just not here's the good news, though. You know what happens when you mix your toxins with his toxins? You know what you get? A lot of cum. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's an unholy sex. You ever been in a relationship where you're like, I can't sustain this shit, it's too much. You know who knows that? The dogs. You know that, like, you ever have sex where the animals in the house start to freak out? You know that's bad, right? You're going at it and the dog is howling and pissing in a circle. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, what the fuck is happening? You guys fighting? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right? But the cat always knows. The cat is like, this is unnatural. I'll see you in 3 days. Sorry about all the biblical undertones or overtones to my presentation. I've been reading a lot about religion. I'm done with philosophy. It just gets me in a circle. And I'm just fascinated with the idea of a transcendent truth. And I haven't landed on where I'm very intrigued by Christianity. I hope Jesus is God. I do, because I think he grades on a curve, you know? I mean, he's very forgiving, you know? Like, I don't believe that you're going to hell. I think he'd be like, and you'd be like, I didn't know because there's so many different. He'd be like, I know, come on, you know, right? It's a radical idea, Christianity. Loving your enemy is radical. To turn the other cheek like that, to get hit and offer the other cheek instead of rolling that shit and coming up and knocking over, you know? No, I can't, man. My default is murder. It is, man. You know what I mean? When you talk about making the world a better place, that's code for some people need to die. It's so, man, just even walking in sandals with no arch support, like, try that, right? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to work with lepers. Ew. Right? Oh, I could never eat around them. Keep your spores away. And I'll tell you this, I'm not selling all my possessions and giving my money to the poor. I'm not doing that. I love the poor. I love them. But they're not good with money.